But Rick Trigger.
What, sir? Allow me, sir. And then allow you make your answer me. How many over here the outcry of Jamaicans are just say, how dare these people want to the right of the citizens' right to life? How many hear them with a ball out for that? I don't want to hear.
Make an answer now. Listen, those people have the state to vote for them. Remember, you know, a human rights group, you know, farm.
A right to what happened to the civilians' right to life.
Let me finish explaining, man. A human rights group in any country is there to protect the citizen against the state. The state is there to protect the citizen against lawlessness. So when a man go analyze,
shouldn't they also be a voice?
No, man. Let me finish from a general, man. No, but we can't miscue it. We can't miscue it. Yeah. If when you get analyzing, yeah, we have the police and the state. Who the state itself responds to them people. But when a person get analyzed by police, and the people is only and in a circumstances, questionable circumstances.
Yeah, but you
wait, man, the government can't come out in support of that person. The state cannot come out in support of that person who was analyzed by the state in question circumstances. It must have to be a human right. We can't twin the thing them. The state protect the citizen itself.
Hey, listen.
Let me finish.
Can
I finish?
Yeah, but I say same thing over.
Yeah, man. The other thing is this, my brother Hugh. Listen to this. It cannot be. It can't be. That you had to, all right, we can't want this and we can't want that. You remember one of the time we always say, Lord Jesus, what we do? We have over 1,000 alive in every year. All of a sudden, that has been reduced. Those who used to take on the state have now come at the state and take them on and handle it with some amount of success. Hold on. Allow me. In all of the instances where those guys came up against the state, how many of it is under what percentage of it? Or how many of it? 100 and something of them did. 104? 104? I'm not somewhere where we can look on the figure. I think it's about 104. How many of the 104? How many of the 104 was it extrajudicial analysis?
I can't answer any other, but the other question I need to narrow down the government.
Was it a case where we had here and then we have a back off and left him, you know? Here it was a case that we have police excesses. If say we did have 95% that this was police excesses, we would have said no, we can't also. But tell me what percentage of it is police excesses, right, so then we can have a conversation.
So let me tell you the conversation we have. Because I never say police excesses. You hear the conversation we have. You see, uno argue so, uno narrow down, uno, and listen me good enough, uno narrow down the good work of the government. You hear me?
No.
So, can I finish? No, you hear me say uno narrow down the good work of the government. Could it be that the government, with all of the resources they put in place, help to move gangs from 300 to under 100 now? Couldn't that be one of the main concepts why we cut murder? Because guess why? Most of the murder are gang violence, you know. People now walk out to Jamaica and kick out people to analyze people, you know. A gang. So couldn't it be that the resource where the government put in place, yeah, I work so much that they get rid of the gang, they have better investigation capacity, so them have the gang pan run, so them mitigate the gang. So move a gang from 300 to now under 100. A whole heap of murder that you save, you know. A people we are narrowed down to the analyzing a gunman to cutting a crime with people so that, you know. Can I
say something now?
I yield.
Wait, Richie, you agree with me say a while ago?
Me answer you when we go over this, and you will know if me agree.
All right, listen what me answer now. Remember you, I never people them politicize this, you know. How JFJ do? Why? The people them say no, but this don't make no sense. And them and their actions, you know.
JFJ political party or a human rights?
What?
It's
a human rights group, but they link. We're not fool.
Link to who?
We know.
Link to who?
Come on, man. Remember, you know.
Red Bull. Red Bull. Look
Red
at
Bull,
it.
stop talk rubbish, Red Bull.
We can't ask that.
Wait, listen, me want to talk. Let me talk. Because I want me a scene and nobody tell me nothing. Listen.
Yes.
You have, right, in a instant, you have last year, right? I show you, you know. When, just like, one time, when the PNP secretary name will come out for nationwide and I change the argument, you know, but just I show you something. And I say, yo, we are going to have an early election, right? Because some are going to come out in the media. But as I try to show you, you know, it got so big, that's why I got an early election. That was said last year, right? And then afterwards, a year said the Prime Minister, this and that, and I change the argument. But me I try to show you, say, you have organization where people link with people. Politics in Jamaica come like a football. A person love Manchester United and they must stick with you all when time may not win. Then team, we have to understand that. So, and I really JLP party I do that. How JFG carry out themselves. Why JFG never go by one of them?
So in the 90s, JFG and a PMP. So in the 90s, JFG they liberate in the 90s. We made some fight against Adams and them. Them not liberate in the 90s.
No, but Adams who only by that killing.
Listen, man.
Listen.
Adams,
we not cuss. We not get to that point where we are cuss. When you talk a while ago, I was listening to you more. You listen to me, brother. You see, Adams, the whole heap of killing were questionable. You see how the police are there now? The police are do them investigations, them are target the people them where them are go for. Man, them where police them go for, I say, them probably have around a 95 or 96% of people where do crime, people where they have violence, where they get locked up 3-4 times. You understand? That's the way you can look fun.
I will like to ask you Richard a question. You Richard.
No, can't ask you Richard a question. Don't try
that with me. Don't try that with me. You are here. I hear you said something. And it is my right to question you about that. Because you have the answer. You said, good evening, everybody, and the 100 odd people we are listening. Listen to me now. You Richard said,
you know, General.
You know, but for this me a while ago with the author.
No, call me with man. Just call me name. Just you, Richard.
You said to me, hello, can I speak, please? You said that the JFJ done business is on the out there against for the government. In the business with the people them who we analyze.
That's foolishness too.
Him on the business with who we police are keep.
You want me to get an answer?
No.
Yeah, me get an answer.
No, listen to me now. Richard, listen to me. When me I talk to you, listen to me. On a boy I talk to you. A big man. And I am proud, more prouder than you to be a Labourite. You are ashamed to be a PMP. Me more prouder than you. Just listen to me. A big man I talk to you. Who over 50-year-old. And I give a damn who you is.
57.
Listen to me, man.
Don't come shout at me, man. Hold
on, guys. Hold on.
Come on, man. Better than that. Better than that.
Hold on, guys. This is not working out. The listeners are not benefiting from this, you know. The listeners are not benefiting. Delroy?
Yes, neighbor.
Right. I only have 15 minutes. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to make your point, sir.
Yes. Listen to me now. Why did you say that the JFJ done business with how much the criminal kill? Them only care about what the government, what the police force kill. Is it that the police force kill 100 and other? Let's say 110, 115, 162 persons since the year start. Is it those
question? I answer the question.
No, Rich Kid, you have to hold on, Rich Kid. Let him finish now. He has 3 minutes.
Is it those people are innocent? Is it the news? Is it the news that we listen day and night? Is it the internet that we listen day and night? Speak of those people. They are all innocent. Are the news tell us that all of them are gang leader? Tell me something about that now, sir.
Okay, so I can answer now.
Which kid your time, and you have 2 minutes to cover this, and then we'll have to say goodbye. Yes, sir.
All right. I was asked a question by Rick Chigga.
Yeah, you're gonna answer that.
Yes, I was asked by Rick Chigga, and the answer when I say I think I have a problem with. Listen what I said. I said he asked me when people analyze, when gunmen analyze people, why JFD don't come out, and I answer in this way: the state is the one responsible for that. The state protects those people. However, when a person is being analyzed by them family.
Oh, you said it. You said the JFD doing business with that. That's what you said.
Let me say what I say, man.
No, I cannot allow you to tell me what you said. I hear clearly. Is that's why I come.
Your ears are a problem, right? So let me explain what I say, Dan. Listen, man. You ask me because my 2 minutes. No, listen, man.
Let him explain, my brother.
Explain. When this
explain by telling me lie again.
Shut him out, then amendment, man. When the state analyze anybody, it is yeah, but me just want to take 2 minutes. Let's protect me 2 minutes.
All right. No, you see, guys, if the listeners are not benefiting, then it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. It's true. So just allow me just explain, please. And when we done, I started my argument. I'm saying to you, I was asked a question: why JFJ not protect no when gunman analyze anybody? JFJ not protect. And I tell him that. Mute now. Please.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
I said the state protect those people. The state is the one who responds to investigate those people. However, when the state analyze somebody, the family is not going to the state. It is a human rights group who will take it up. So the human rights group will protect the people who the state wrong with.
Apart from that the state does have in place an institution that does these investigations, which is Indicom.
Yeah,
and Indicom ought to be independent, right?
It is independent, supposed to be independent.
To the point where there have been some arguments in the force that Indicom themselves are against the police.
Exactly.
Right. Hold on. So the state has set up a watchdog or an accountability system that keeps in whenever there is alleged police infractions, right?
Yeah, but a human rights group is also very, very essential in a country.
Yeah, but that's a civic.
Exactly.
It's a civic duty and a civic group, though, sir.
That's I'm telling that. It's a civic group.
And I see no challenge in both of them working together because they are working for the same.
No, the point I'm trying to get, it was asked the question if why Jamaica Justice go in our community when 2 persons get analyzed by gunmen. And I would have said that the police take over that, the government responds to that. But the human rights group is there to guard the citizens against the government, against the state. That's the purpose of human rights group. That is there.
Oh, Richard, pardon me there, Richard, pardon me there. Is it not Jamaica for Justice, it name?
Yes, but their primary role is to protect the government.
Beg a minute. Then if it is Jamaica for Justice, I am a Jamaica. Then why there is no justice for me or my family or a friend or a stranger that we, same Jamaican, who killed the animal because it seems like says only human alone stand and the people who are analyzing, who are losing their lives.
I can answer your question. Because I have a different aspect on human rights.
Okay, because you know the reason why.
We agree to disagree. So it doesn't make no sense. Because you don't believe my point.
Delroy,
yeah.
The mandate of JFJ, though, you see, is to advocate for state transparency.
Thank you.
Overall, so what JFJ is about is where the state is involved. JFJ would not get involved where the state is not involved.
Right.
And you would agree that
fair enough, neighbor. Fair enough, neighbor. I did ask an next question.
Yes.
I did ask a next question. I did also ask that when I did also ask, oh my God.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
Yeah, man, I'll take my time. It's because I did ask about that. And I also asked about the oh my God, the devil is a liar, but I saw it things. Go ahead, and when I remember, I return. And I also would like to ask Vice this question as well. He said that the JFJ is about the justice of the people. Then if the JFJ is a justice of the people, why do we have a police force or the government?
Let me answer you in short. Remember now, the JFJ is an NGO. Their only duty and action is that if the state oversteps their authority, that's their sole function. They're just like a watchdog. If you cross this line, they're going to come after you. So where the police is concerned, the police has to operate in a manner in which they do not step outside of their power. For example, you could raise this question. When the police go to a premises and decide to wear a mask in which you cannot identify the person.
The Americans them do it.
Sir, hold on now. You cannot do that. If we're going to reason and we want good answers so the listeners can have an understanding.
Remember, say, hold on.
Answer the question. Go ahead.
Ask question you want to answer yourself. You want to answer what you want to answer.
Them is not the first. It's not Jamaica is the first we see that, you know.
So, all right, answer all the questions then, sir.
No,
if you want to answer.
What you are saying to me, you are telling me something that me always say. Me always say that this mass business started from we have in the European country them like Asia, we have that in England, we have in America, we have it in South Arabia, we have it in all of these countries, and we see it and we used to all these things. So this what you are saying to me, I wouldn't dare believe it, sir.
So can I answer a question? Yes, can I answer a question? You're the question I got asked. You're the question I got asked.
You.
What is the function? What is the function and role of the JCF and the function and role of the Jamaica for Justice?
All right, the JCF is to serve and protect. That's what I should have known about. And I also want to ask you a question to serve.
No, answer the JCF. What is it? What is it?
Let me not tell you, say.
No, what is the role of JFJ?
This is a country of being.
Listen to me, man. You answer that already. Listen, you want to two questions. Me ask what is the role? What is the role of JFJ, Jamaica for Justice?
Jamaica for Justice is to protect, is to look out for every citizen that being unalive.
No, every citizen that is wronged by the state. Is alleged wrong by the state.
Yes, but we don't want that then, man. If it's only for one person, listen to me now. If it's only for one person, what we are doing with that? Tell me now. That's true. No, don't call Jesus, because Jesus will agree. If it is only for one set of person, why do you calling for justice for all? Tell me now.
All right, listen, you have one court named International Court of Justice. Where you believe the freedom role is?
To protect criminals. All right. Listen to me. May I ask you a question?
No, but you can't invite. Delroy, please.
Yeah. Hello, neighbor. Have a good day, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, man. No run, man. You mustn't run, man.
Have a good day.
For me, no, man.
Guys,
May I ask you
the time has run out.
Hold on, man. May I beg you a minute? Have you guys...
My time has run out. The clock struck 6. Delroy, stay where you are. Stay where you are, Delroy.
All the places in the world where I have been,
Listeners, that's going to have to be it, you know. Mr. Stevens? Mr. Stevens?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
You there with me, stay away?
Yeah, man, me there. Me hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of understand that the JLG don't really get involved in citizen to citizen infractions, you know.
Yes, neighbor.
Rules
but
what you there?
Okay, no. So, upon the work, me destiny, the kind of work, me labor.
Right. So I guess what you're going to have to do now is to look out for me and come back.
Me watch you every day, neighbor. Me watch you from your start.
How will you say?
Neighbor, a long time I watch you, neighbor.
Respect to that, man.
A year, neighbor, me I watch you for the last 3, 4, 5 months, 3 months now.
Then how you say nothing?
No, me say, me come in there, no and then, you know, but me not lying. Yeah, sometimes you have some, me don't know if you use the word, cause you know, words, when you speak words, it match with characters. I mean, I say, when I say big fish, me no mean faggot fish, you know what I mean? Yeah, some tough people in our box. Man, like, me not call on name, but sometimes, so them know me as well. They know me as well. Me run alive, me run alive, but based upon the work what me do, it takes me a whole lot. And I must, should I speak this? All right, let me help the Lord hold me peace. Yes, I'm not really, me an outlaw, but I would have tell you the truth. I think I've break the law sometimes. Yes, and I would like to ask you, Richard, if they never find themselves in a gang company, if they never fire illegal gun, if they never, I mean, these people don't know nothing. It takes a true man to speak. Me thank God for my brother still, you know, my brother is a warder, you know. My brother beg me. Cause remember in the 80s, in the 90s, yeah. In the 90s, because remember the PMP, Michael Mann, they win the election 1980, 89, or 88, yeah. And he handed it over to PG in 89. Then we have one big old crisis come out from the world AIDS. AIDS nearly killed with like chicken, like how they have the corona, yeah. AIDS nearly killed Jamaica. And PJ Patterson said everybody can come to Jamaica free and make AIDS take over Jamaica. Right now, it start back again. Anyway, I have a brother in the 90s. That's my youngest brother for my mother. Me older than him. And me over me mid-50. And that man, me remember when he come from country and come home. My mother never have such place to take him. And watch him and him batter and him say, rise up one day and say, wow, my brother, nothing go on for me, you know. At about 90, that's supposed to be anyway in about 93, 94. Say, nothing go on for me, you know, my brother. And me I got turn water, you know. And me a hacks, you know, my brother. Let it go, you know. But you, I am a family man. We respect the family, we love the family, and we take care. And I'm telling you about.
I've run out of time. I want you to send me a message. I want to talk to you here.
Yeah, man.
Because we want to arrange one nice little sit down with you. Go half me and you alone talk.
One of my good friend that who know me.
Yeah, good day, neighbor. And I just want me there work, but I just want to
hold on there. Excellence in accord. I have agreed to accept you back, you know, sir. Can you come up for 2 minutes, as a closer? I want to say something to you. Delroy, pick up yourself and take care.
Yes, neighbor.
Cool.
Your neighbor, and I still a neighbor. I just want to ask. I just want to say,
relax. It's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock. Just hold on. Oh, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Jamaica girl, thank you for holding things down today. Jamaica girl, how are you?
Still I'm giving thanks for all that I have seen. All the places in the world where I have been.
Oh, my friend, excellence in accord. Oh, Christopher, you're going to go ahead and then excellence in accord. Yeah, go ahead.
And I still and I go still. I just want to ask. I hear them here. What the man never said. It's the human rights. It's for human rights. So why when gunman unalive citizen, them don't come out and demonstrate against those things? Why is only when time the police do unalive them come out and talk? So people thinking Jamaican like me, I go look on that one-sided car. If you say it's a human right, you're supposed to stand up for everybody.
Yes, sir. But understand this, Christopher. The state exercises awesome power. You understand that, sir?
Yeah, I understand that.
The state, hold on. The state exercises awesome power. And you know what they say about power, sir? That power corrupts.
Yeah, I know that.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. If there is no check on the power of the state, then it can be abused.
Yeah, I understand that.
And Christopher, we have had instances in Jamaica where the state has abused its power. Do you accept that?
Yeah,
who it is there for? That is to intervene on behalf of citizens where the state is in violation of the citizens' right. You have, for example, the political ombudsman. You have, well, that is for politics. No, what do they call it? The lawyer that looks out for the, whatever that is. But the JFJ is a civic organization that provides some watch over the state, not the citizens. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. But listen, neighbor. Watch this now. All right. Me is a gunman now, and me know me have those people who come out and speak in my behalf. When you tell a young youth, them say them can't go make crime. If them is a human rights neighbor, them supposed to speak for every one of us. When gunman analyze people, them supposed to stand up. That is no matter what. I understand everything what you're telling me, neighbor. But me no see the justice where they must speak one side. You have to speak on every accord. You say it's a human rights matter the state. When analyze, you come out and say, boy, you condemn.
You are saying that where there is any form of injustice.
Yeah, them speak up.
Okay.
Yeah. So if them speak up on that neighbor, well, in time I would have support, but from them on one-sided neighbor, and that is only for us. Country is one-sided. When the crime rate you never hear them come out and speak. No, the crime rate go down and you call gunman and get analyzed them and come out and speak. We look on a different way, neighbor. But their work, see, me just let me, Mr. Manuel tune into your program, so I can't stay long with their work, so you can't take me down.
You listen in the days?
Every day, when you play them nice music there, every time you put on them all hits, them ever tune in.
Aye.
Yeah, so we are telling you that.
What rhythm is this? What rhythm is this?
Surrounded by sight.
No phrase, eh?
Yeah. Me ever listen and chop up with them all this man. So me there works, so me can't stay long, so you can't take me down.
Respect. Take care.
Man. Let's go on the scene.
That's one of our great listeners, you know, Christopher. Respect, Christopher. Take care of yourself, yeah? I always have to do overtime here. It's 5 minutes after 4 o'clock. Operation Nelson?
Neighbor, my good friend.
How are you, sir?
Good neighbor, how are you?
Eh?
How are you?
Broke, sir, no have no money.
Boy, I see. That is not true, neighbor. But why they say that I will?
What? Yes, go ahead.
Right? But neighbor, why I'm here, right? Because this thing about Jamaica for Justice is really passionate to me. Why passionate to me, neighbor? Because I have lived this. I have lived this in terms of I know what it feels like to lose somebody by crime and violence.
Oh.
I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Right. So why I'm passionate about this? Let I get down tonight. Let I get down tonight, neighbor. The Jamaican for Justice only come forward for justice when a certain set of the population dying. Because while you can record what I am trying to say or what I am saying, you remember when Renito Adams went down in Western Kingston and unalive those people and they will leave on the road to dogs to eat them?
I don't know if it is Adams who did it.
Right, he did. Right. Well. Adams was the person at the front line at that time, so he was the person who responds for that operation at that time. And the people in the street of Kingston were lay in the street of Kingston for dogs to eat them. Where were Jamaican for Justice at that time? Neighbor, you remember again 1997 when the police force.
Hold on. But then that was a state. I don't know.
No, neighbor. You will do your research and you will know. Where was Jamaica for Justice? 1997 when the security force invaded same Tivoli Garden and killed over 5 to 4 people. How many women and children got shot and then we were Jamaica for Justice at that time? Come back again, rewind again, neighbor. When the incursion happened in Western Kingston and over 100 people died, till some people could not find their loved one up to today. Where is Jamaican for Justice?
Yeah, you're saying that they have been inconsistent, yeah?
Neighbor, I don't know what is their agenda. I don't know what the motive of them, but let me say something to Jamaica for Justice. The Jamaican people made up their mind once and for all to done with criminal. Whatever it takes, we tired of criminal and that way they stand for until the Lord come, the good Lord come. Because guess what? Jamaican for Justice, I don't know, while we can understand, neighbor, while I can understand the talking points about body-worn camera and all of that, but in the terms of, we did talking about body-worn camera, I want to say something, neighbor, because I'm trying to picture in this in your mind, right? A policeman went into an area, or a police team went into an area and engaged a group of gunmen open fire at them. What the police should have said to the gunman, hold on, Cree, let me turn on my body camera.
My understanding is that those cameras are to be turned on when the policeman.
Neighbor, if you understand how body camera has been worn, when a police walked up to you, or a police, for instance, you're in the traffic, and the policeman walked up to you. First thing the policeman got to acknowledge that I just turn on my body camera, right? This is recording and all of that and all of that and all of that. I don't think the government would have the data or
let me tell you something, and I've been holding back to say this, but I'll say it nonetheless. And people may not like what I'm going to say. When I examine the Jamaican society, sir, and see how some of we people rebellious. Let me tell you something, sir. I couldn't be a policeman, you know.
Thank you.
Me couldn't listen to me. Me couldn't be a policeman, you know, sir, because I think I'm a little bit too irrational. Because me no see how me could have a gun for me and me see man. Tell you the truth, sir.
Neighbor.
You see all them body worn camera or something, sir. I don't even know if we have sat down properly and figure out whether we're ready for those things, you know, sir.
Thank you, neighbor.
Because unless we learn as a society what is law and order,
thank you, neighbor.
To respect law and order, sir.
Thank you, neighbor.
Then we are going to be confronting these issues again and again and again. People need to respect the law.
Neighbor.
You can't have policemen instructing you in the law and you are resisting it. You ever see the taxi men them, sir? You ever see the policemen them go into some
Thank
towns
you, neighbor. Thank you.
And are trying to, and policemen, taxi men are drape up policemen, almost want to take away the gun from them. What you
gun from him, neighbor. Thank you. Thank you, neighbor.
This is so sit down and understand that we must get our people to respect the law.
Neighbor, if the investigation that was done
in this society, this society, so I don't want no camera for here.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you, neighbor.
You're basically putting me as a lamb among the to the slaughter.
Right.
It is serious. Listen,
right.
We must fix the social challenges in the society, sir. Before we introduce certain things to our people, because they're not ready for it.
Thank you.
It is in a society that is ordered, organized, yes, where you can, people challenge the police in Jamaica, sir.
Police officer, I tell you that I live it, neighbor. So that's the reason why I'm so passionate about it, neighbor, because I live it, neighbor. Neighbor,
you know what I saw one day, sir? You know what I saw one day, sir? I saw a traffic, about half a mile of traffic. And a man knew that police was down the road. He knew. And him still come out of the traffic and driving at the middle road up to the police, you know, sir.
Up to the police, right?
You understand? Knowing very well that the police is going to stop him and he no care.
Neighbor, as I can say, neighbor, and I continue to say this, neighbor, whatever method or whatever plan or whatever force the police have been using or whatever they're using now to give the country the result that we are getting now, I can tell them full speed ahead, because the people of Jamaica are behind them 100%. Neighbor, can you record the last 6 to 7, 10 years ago when you drive from Moran Point to Negro Point, nobody want to be on the street?
Let me tell you something, sir. Higgling, Lord Jesus, you want to go in some place where the higglers them there. Make the police try to take them up. Them black.
Neighbor, I told you I live it, neighbor. I come from downtown, so I know what I'm talking about.
All the road and make the police try and move them, no? You will see war. You will see war.
So the people that come in the platform and playing with people
so these are uncomfortable truths. But what we need in Jamaica, is not more laws. What we need is a system of value, social values that we can agree on. I tell people that you could solve the traffic problem in every town in Jamaica if the people them would have just stopped, walk up and down in a road.
Thank you.
You go downtown, go halfway tree, go Old Harbour, go Spanish Town and see if the people them would have just been decent.
You know the funny thing though? You know the funny thing about this? When they go abroad, they're not doing what they're doing in Jamaica, you know?
Why? Why is that so, sir? Because the law is going to be enforced.
Thank you.
Okay? It's going to be enforced. and you're going to be charged for it. And if you don't, they send you back to your country. We don't enforce. No, listen to me. And I tell you this, sir. I am going to be spending some time on it, because sociology is something that I am big on. The fact is, sir, that you could solve a lot of what sir. Something I saw happening a couple days ago, where I was in Kingston and I realized that a stoplight was able to regulate people's behavior, but make the stoplight stop work and the traffic black up
again, right?
Why is that? So we are if we are not regulated as human beings, we destroy ourselves.
Yes. So good evening.
Yeah, before you come in there, sir. So guys,
neighbor, what what I'm saying to neighbor, we shouldn't politicize what is happening. I think the opposition is come on board to say, for win and whenever we win, we will build on what we get and make it even more better. Not to come and tell the people of Jamaica it is wrong and the people are this and the police come and the police are do this and the police are do that.
Well, I've made that point, sir, and I think it is a negative.
The people of Jamaica open their eyes wide and their ears as clear as possible, because I can tell you this, if I said this already and I say it again, I think PMP is the enemy of the state with no apology about it.
I see.
With no apology about it.
Horatio, I was in Mandeville a couple of weeks ago, sir, and Mandeville, there are a lot of schools in Mandeville. Manchester High, Bishop Gibson, the Cartridge College, Jamaica Teachers, not Jamaica, Church Teachers College. And the picnic them walk up and down the road. You hear me, sir?
Yes, maybe.
So yes, school is dismissed, and we are the kids. Go around lane in Mandeville and see everybody picnic them just in the road. You can't run a society like that. So that's disorder. We have to create norms in a society. And people respect these. That's why we have what is called pedestrian crossing. Don't cross anywhere else but the pedestrian crossing.
And neighbor, that's I tell you, when them come overseas at the pedestrian crossing, 2 miles up the road, them walk up the
you can't run your hand carts out in the middle road.
Out in the middle road, thank you.
The hand cart in the middle road, and you take over the street and you block
and when the police go and enforce their justice, they want justice and they fight poor people. Right, and I fight poor people. Thank you, neighbor. Thank you.
And we do not understand. We do not understand, sir, how we are holding back ourselves by these the unstructured way in which we carry out our lives. I tell the folks in my town, I said if I was the superintendent here, me fix this, me fix it, because I'm not going to be in charge of no disorder, sir.
Right.
If you know if sell here, so you can't sell there. If you know if sell here, so you can't sell there. I mean, anyway. Yes, sir.
Neighbor, as I said, neighbor, and I will leave.
Yes, yes, but general. So I'm not cut here because I'm gonna run Charlotte still. But what you said, if you're not starting off with where the last thing you said about catching on with the sellers and the higglers and everything. So therefore we deal with equal rights and justice. I agree with what you said, right? But what would you put in place?
I think it goes beyond that, sir. I am when I was growing up, sir, there was a song we used to sing about building a new Jamaica. A new Jamaica. Sir, how a society operates, you see, sir, is that it agrees on what is called interdependency. In other words, we are members of a community. And what is life, sir, is a man a help a man, You ever realize that? That we do not exist without another.
Right.
Yes, so we are coexisting in the world. I depend on you to live, sir, literally. The Bible says, I am my brother's keeper. In other words, it is to the extent that I keep my brother that I am kept.
Right.
Okay, and therefore there is a place for the handcart man to sell him tomato and him scallion and him yam.
Whatever I'm selling.
Yes, and the bag, you see the bag juice man, He's important too, because he provide a refreshment for me in the traffic.
Yeah, and the sun hat.
And the sun hat. But
Right.
sir, we must sit down and decide how it is to be structured so that we avoid disorder.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally agree with what you're saying.
And you know one of the other things, sir? Funerals. You ever notice how we conduct funerals in Jamaica? And try get into a town on a Saturday.
Well, I was in a funeral the other day.
Yes, and you are driving at 5. You are driving at 5 kilometers
No,
an hour.
we cooperate with the police because he
on,
was
man.
ahead. No, man, he was ahead of us, and he asked us to drive in our car.
Yes, sir. So communities must come together and decide, where are we going to sell here?
Right.
Where are we going to park? Where are we going to dispose of our rubbish, our garbage?
Yes.
Where are we going to cross the road? You can't cross in 100 place in the town, brother.
No,
because that will block up the traffic. And the pregnant woman who don't want to go to the hospital is going to have the baby in the car.
You know, funny enough, as I talk about crossing the road. As I talking about crossing the road, I was in Afro-Tree the other day.
Go ahead. I need to close my door. I'm there, so. Give me a second. Guys, can you just hold on the nice a little for me? Go ahead, sir.
Yes, so I said I was in Afro-Tree the other day, and to be honest, you know, when it come on to the evening hours, how people rush and everything, and like people obey the stop line because you can see when everybody move across like at once. You understand me? I like that, but you're not gonna find that in every, because police was there as well. You get what I'm saying? But you're not gonna find that in every community or every town. You understand me? Everything run different. So now we have to teach the kids them. It start from the school. So you have to teach the kids them, like, listen, you know, you have to put it in school how you cross road, how you use the pedestrian, how you do all of this, because these are the same. Which
is why, sir, I have said that I am so disappointed in the opposition. I am disappointed in the opposition because there are issues in Jamaica. You see, if I was to ever get into politics, sir, maybe I wouldn't get any votes still, you know, because I'm telling you, we need social transformation in Jamaica. You hear me tell you? Because you see this push we are pushing for economic development. We need to pair it with social development. You hear me say so?
Right.
If you're going to have productivity, you have to understand what is the social construct of a society. And when the social construct of a society is misaligned, you're not going to grow. Mr. Holness, if you don't fix this system of value, right? And when I talk about value, you're not going to achieve 5% economic growth. You're not. You could be for 20 years. You will never see 5% economic.
So neighbor, what do you think? You start off with the youngsters. You start off in school.
We have lost a couple generations, sir.
Right.
And they can't learn again.
They become adult. They become adult, and they
yes,
their own
I'm going to tell you the truth. I have questioned whether or not Jamaica really can become a thriving democracy.
Right.
With the indiscipline that we have. You understand me? Because one of the things that people don't talk about, you know, sir, is that freedom. Where you exercise freedom, if you don't give that with responsibility, then it's abuse. It's become anarchy. And listen to me. There are, you know, sometimes in my bed, sometimes you go to your bed at night and you can't barely sleep.
Right.
Because sound system tear off your roof. You understand what I'm saying to you, sir? How you run a society like that, right? I am saying to you, sir, that and this is where the parish councils in Jamaica are failing badly. When last you going to Spanish Town, sir?
Well, I've been in Spanish Town, you know, but I haven't sleep over there.
There is this order across the country, and whilst the government boasts about economic growth and development, listen to me, sir. Your greatest asset is your people.
Right, exactly.
It's not road. It's the people.
It's the people. You gotta deal with the people.
You develop your people, sir.
Right.
Listen to me. Right. You see all this nonsense that they're talking about, social housing and
I'm not cut the neighbor. As you talk about housing now, let me say something. What about the factory? What about teaching people how to teaching skills and all of them things? Them things they die out.
Well, you remember now, you know, sir, that you live in a global village, and in this village where you have to look at factors of scale, whether or not it is cheaper to purchase things from overseas than producing it here. The point I'm making to you, sir, is that if you train and develop your people, you know, sir, I went somewhere yesterday to pick up something, and there were 3 cashiers in the place, 2 working, 1 a chat. and the one way I chat is so disturbing the other 2 that they are moving very slow,
lose focus,
and they have no focus, and the line is long outside in the sun. The people are standing up, and I said to myself, you know, we're not ready yet, you know, we're not ready yet. And as I said to you, Mister, that is why I'm a little disappointed in the opposition, because these are the type of discussions that we must have. This is where we need a dialogue in terms of a conversation as how are we going to produce prosperity for our people, sir? True. Produce prosperity for traffic for 1.5 hour, 1.5 hours, sir, just because the people won't use the stoplight, the pedestrian crossing.
Right.
If you use the pedestrian crossing in the town, sir, you are going to solve a lot of the traffic problems. And then you have the taxi man, them with them pro box, just a block up the road. Them stop.
Them drive reckless, man. Them drive reckless, man. They're not
driving reckless, sir. Where is the designated area for parking and loading and drop off? You have to establish those in the towns, and every citizen, sir, must know it. Every citizen must know it. You can't yam cane and drop it in the town, sir. You yam out of your KFC box. You drop it in the town. You want to pee, and you just flash out your thing and piss around at the back of the place. And
remember growing up, you know, them used to have this song, so pick up paper on the ground. Right now, you can't teach it in a school, you know. The youth them tell us, yo, pick up a kind of paper.
Yes, sir. It is economic, brother. It is economic empowerment that solves housing. Hear me tell you, it is to empower your people economically that solves your housing issues. If your people are empowered, they make their own home, sir. Okay, because for every 1 house that you distribute to a needy person, there is 100 people there that needs it. You cannot deliver. See, they're blaming the government now that it has not met its target of delivering. You can't deliver houses for so much people, sir. The housing demand is
impossible. It's impossible.
So what you want is for people to buy land and build their own house. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it begins, sir. I'm getting a little overexcited here. It begins, sir, with us having a conversation about how are we going to build this society, community by community. Because what works for Spanish Town may not work for Old Harbour, and what works for Old Harbour may not work for Mandeville. You can't have school over evening time, guys, and the picnic them just a walk up and down in the street. You can't have that in the society. They have to teach them to use the sidewalk or create some cue that the picnic them follow. Some instruction, them just a crisscross the road and make a man lick down one of them. He may have to get up out of him car and run.
No man, he might go dead. They might kill him.
I remember something that happened in Spanish Town, sir, where you know you have school over and 2,000 or 3,000 students are released in the town, right? And there is no order. Them just run up and down in the town. Them just block up the traffic and the traffic. No, sir. We have a far way to go in terms of understanding.
What would you put in place? What would you put in place for adults and like more to use the pedestrian? Like where are they ticket them?
Or no, here where you started. So it begins with education.
Right, as I agree.
Yeah, it begins with education. So here what you do, you pull the communities together. Let's look at a town like say Old Harbor. Let's just take Old Harbor for an example. You pull the stakeholders together and you say to the stakeholders, here are the social norms that will apply for Old Harbor. Number one, here are the pedestrian crossings in the town. At Desoyago Cross, you know.
I tell you, I was in Old Harbor the other day, you know, and right beside the police station, you know, the town of Old Harbor where the police station is, where the clock is right there. Trust me, neighbor, I don't know if I have to turn left, go around the clock, or go right, if you go, we call it heights, somewhere up in the hills. I tell you something. When I come to the police station right there, right at the crossing, I don't know if you know where I'm talking. Where the police station, on the right hand side, right there, coming from.
You better I know.
Yes. So I don't know how to use the clock there because I see car coming from the side, coming around. I see car coming from. I don't know how to.
You make the stoplight no work. You will see chaos. I was going to a meeting, sir, and it took me 1.5 hours to move. Just from one point to the exit.
Yeah, man, it's horrible there. It's horrible there. It's
horrible there. Hear what happens now, sir. So you pull the communities together, the churches, the non-governmental organization, business, and you say, we're going to create these norms for the community here. You cross here, you park here, you sell here, you piss here, and you know, educate everybody, and you set in those norms consequences. You agree on, okay? my brother, you go to market in Jamaica, you go to the markets.
I wonder if Andrew Holness really listen to you though.
If he might listen,
yeah, we need him to listen.
No, hear me, and you educate your people. So this is in a pamphlet. You put it into the schools. You announce it in the church. Put it up on the loudspeaker, and you run it through the town, and you tell people, this is coming in 2 weeks' time. This is how the town have a run.
Right. So you announce it.
Yes, and you can get volunteers to become wardens. Yes, wardens for the town. Right.
But the police can also announce it on the car because they have the mic and the
police can announce it, sir, and the citizens agree that this is how we are going to operate. It's
what about
open
the communities? What about open the community center and have it invite the people how to use the road? Yes,
sir, and the churches and so when you come into the towns, for example, put man have funeral and the hearse are come to the town, music turn up like they're not really so. That's not so you run a society. You understand? You develop norms and you teach people the norms. And let me tell you something. It is very easy to learn something, you know. It is very hard to unlearn it.
Jamaican girls say if me think people are gonna come at the meeting.
You don't have no choice. You know no choice, you know.
Let me tell you something. Right? You see anywhere food and drink, you're gonna find people. So if you're gonna keep the meeting, you know, say the government can provide this.
Holness, sir.
Him can keep a little treat and give some food and drink and people come and listen what they have to say.
You must pair economic development with social development. Right. If the social fabric in a society is torn, the economic benefits are leaking out. Mr. Holness, the economic benefits are leaking out, sir, because the fabric is torn. You can't hold it.
Can't hold no money.
No, and this is part of the problem that the government faces, and it don't understand, it don't understand that as it pushes development, it is not pushing for social development, social change.
Right.
You
know, neighbor.
Just look right here on social media.
As I say, social development. The government need to spend more time with the people because it's the people who you know, him have to deal with, and then people who him have to listen to know what go on. So you say if you distance yourself away from the people, you're not gonna know what exactly they're going. It's a man like you need to hear, you know, and know how much information you get from people who come on your program. You understand me? Take time out and listen to man like you, you know, a real justice man. You understand me? Yeah, people like you have to listen to and listen to who they talk and who live in the community, who feels it, knows it, you know, man. So if you can
I'm going to say it again,
people
sir.
like we,
Those people don't understand.
Afternoon, neighbor.
You don't start. You really don't start with the economy, you know. What you start with is Jamaica needs Jamaica needs help. Sir. You don't start necessarily with the economy, you know, sir. You start with the behavior of the people.
Attitude.
You have to start with the behavior of the people. So you see, as a leader, you come into government, you begin with a conversation with the people and you make them understand, say this is the society you have to build, but I saw them have to go behave in the society. You can't take up people, sir, and not teach them how to behave, my brother.
That's true. Exactly.
People, and this is why I know. This is why I know there is such a disconnect between the opportunities the government has created and the people, because you didn't teach them how to take up them opportunity here. You think that they know? You think that them know, sir? You think that when you come on and you make an announcement, say, okay, you can just go to Heart and we'll give you a stipend.
Why you think America open the Navy for the kids and younger generation?
So what you want to do, brother, is you want to get the people to understand how it is that their behavior affects the development of the country. You can't have a society, sir, where people sell anywhere, park anywhere, piss anywhere. You know, when I'm coming to work in the morning, sir, the garbage truck at 7:30 is in the town picking up the garbage.
Wow.
You know, to do that, what the garbage truck have to do, I have to block up the town, you know.
So what about late night?
But why are the people disposing their garbage in the middle of the road?
But you see, if you don't put in proper things so people deal with the town like that.
But that is a behavior. No, sir, that is not that. That is the behavior. It is a behavior change that we need in Jamaica. Let me tell you this, and I'm going to say it again. We are not going to see 6, 7, 8% growth if we do not fix the social construct of the society and the behavior of our people, because we are inhibiting our own development by the way we behave.
Neighbor, can I add something, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, so neighbor, I want to hear you in terms of what you say in terms of the behavior. We need to curb the behavior and education and all of that. But I'm going to say this to your neighbor. It will be less effective if you don't have the infrastructure in place. So one of the things that the government needs to focus on is the infrastructure of every single town. That is part of the problem you have, you know, because guess what happened now? The behavioral change is going to be far more difficult if you don't have the infrastructure.
Which means, Gigi, that central government and local government are at dissonance.
And that is the point. You look here. I'm going to tell you my views and my opinion on central and local government. For me, local government should not exist from a political standpoint. If you understand what I'm getting at, you shouldn't be electing councillors to be a part of a parish council. That is my opinion. What you should have is professionals who are town planners, professionals who know planning laws, planning or work with central government development plans.
GG. In other words, GG.
What end up happening, you know? We have the political interfering
with the norm of our city should be developed. That is what end up happening.
So how would you get the local government to be professional?
No, what I mean, you need to hire full-fledged professionals. You have to hire town planners.
So that means they would have to go to school then. They would have to go to school.
No, yes, man, it has to be a high-level position. You have to have town planners.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I become prime minister tomorrow morning. Most of Jamaicans who now go back to school, you know. Listen to me. Every church hall, every community center, I am bringing out the army. You're going to school. You are going to school to learn how to behave, because you are not going to be
ready. They're not ready for society.
It's true. It's true. If your behavior is against the vision of the country. So I lock down this, you know, and I send you have to go. You click this one.
You draw them out of them house, man.
No, you're going to school because I have to retrain you if I am going to provide. Listen to me. You know, if you make a 5-star bathroom in every town in Jamaica in 2 weeks time,
what 2 weeks?
It is a disgrace.
The same day open.
Yes, in 2 weeks time you're going.
No man, the same day it open. The same day it open to the public. That's the same day when you have to.
So how are you going to create a prosperous society, sir? If you don't change the behavior of the
change your people. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
You have to teach you about it's harder when time you don't have the infrastructure, because that's the time that they can put the laws down. You know, this is where you can implement.
GG, if you understand what neighbor say.
You know, in Japan, sir. Japan is a very wealthy country.
Yes, I'm fully aware of that policy.
But you know, sir, no child leaves a classroom in Japan without that classroom fully sanitized and fully cleaned.
I know that.
By the students themselves. Our picnic run out of the classroom. At the gate of the school, the bag juice ladies out there, we not even know if the bag juice them steal, how long they should have them. We pick them, buy them, and then start suck, and then start drop the bag juice back them straight down for the town. This is not the way to build a society. No?
I'm fully aware of the Japan program that up to age 6, all they learn is etiquette. How to cross road, how to keep them place tidy, how to do simple things. Simple chores.
New case.
In my acceptance speech, I am going to tell my fellow Jamaicans, we're going back to school because we're not ready yet. We don't ready yet for the society that I want to build. So let's spend 6 months here and see if we can learn how to behave. Learn, because when you go foreign, Canada, America, you better follow them rules.
You see, if you don't have your graduation card too, just know that you're in a trouble, you know, because you have to go back to school.
I want to bring something to your attention. You realize that any one of us go to foreign, we conform to whatever regulations that the Americans have. Guess why? They have the infrastructure.
But sir, have you ever gone up to the US embassy?
Yes.
Have you ever seen this order up there?
No.
Huh?
No, sir.
Why?
Yeah, man, it's outside before you enter. The people
inside. Going there,
Is that line you see from the outside?
No, I know inside is okay, but listen, start from outside.
I saw a man. You know, I saw a man knock out a glass at a tax office. Knock it out, you know, even with security there.
So where's the officer? The officer. They always have an officer there, you know.
In business with that, sir?
No, that may I show you. So the people don't care. Not even the officers care.
I'd like to weigh
sir, if you I'm coming to you, John. If you focus, you see, if you focus, and I think probably we need to pause some of the things we are doing in Jamaica and focus on developing our people. We'll grow faster than that. We'll grow faster, Mr. Holness.
Simultaneously, neighbor. You can't.
Yes, no, but I tell you the truth, sir. We need to start this conversation. Go ahead, Joshua. 15 minutes.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Yes, Joshua.
Yes, and good afternoon to those in the chat. I listened to this panel with a sense of hope and also with a sense of bemusement. So it's almost a paradoxical type of emotion. And the reason because because it says that we have some Jamaicans who are still interested in law and order. Bemusement because I think sometimes we kind of put the cart before the horse and we lay the burden where it ought not to be. Because I believe that the Prime Minister is at pains at times to try to appeal to the nation to operate in a civil way, a civilized way. If you listen to his speeches, he speaks about the new Jamaica, the development of Jamaica, and he speaks against crime and violence and how we need to relate to each other. But I think this is just one man who has a country to run, a country that consists of just under 3 million persons. And his job is to manage the country. And we ought to ask ourselves, whenever we have a fight on our hands, which of the fight is most important at that particular point in time. One of your panelists, I think it was Gigi, made a very valid point. I mean, all the points are valid, but he made a very valid point that development comes first, because when people are hungry and slums are around them, and you're going back to a house that, looks like it's somewhere that you really don't want to go to, but it's the only place you know, then don't tell me to act orderly in that circumstance, in that situation. When I'm out of it now and I start having a sense of pride, then it's easier for me to begin to conform at that particular point in time, even though if I didn't have the mindset before, then it wouldn't matter. So what I believe that needs to happen is that the agencies, civil society, Jamaicans for Justice, which is taking up the wrong fight, which is against law enforcement, need to appeal to citizens and to parents, the church leaders, the civic groups, the community associations. These are the groups that needs to begin to try and find a way. The youth clubs, that existed in my day as a boy. When the boys come there, when the girls come, the netball clubs and all of these things, we teach them how to be orderly. So somebody don't just come to training and them just, do as them please. You form a line. And this is how we gradually get it into the minds and hearts of people, how to operate. In our classroom, we could also peg your grades to whether or not you participate in keeping the classroom orderly and clean, so you get additional grades for that. So let's say about 20% of your grade would go towards how clean you keep your section of the classroom and how much you participate in all of these things. But we find innovative ways to get people involved. But to ask the Prime Minister to deal with that is taking away from the management of the country. I'm not saying that this is not a part of it, but this is not really the bane of what he's there for. It is for people like you and I, when we go to the taxi stand and we see kids hugging up and kissing.
John, I'm gonna continue, John. I'm gonna disagree with you, because you know why?
All right, allow me to learn and beat me up after.
No, but I'll tell you, he's there for the people. Right?
No, I'm not saying he shouldn't be there for the people, but allow me to learn and beat me up after. When we go to the taxi stand and we see 15 and 14-year-olds at 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening hugging up each other and kissing up each other, and we say, boy, I know my business because I know my pitney, I know when them parents come say something, we are contributing to what is happening. We are by our own non-involvement. We are contributing to the breakdown of society, right? I'm not saying that the Prime Minister should not be in touch with the people, but his primary focus right now is to get the country on track. He has other persons. When you have the Prime Minister trying to institute laws to curb crime and violence, and you have an opposition party that is coming out against it, how you expect him to be able to manage that portion of you know, I've seen where the Prime Minister is at pains. He tries.
John,
Yes, sir.
do you agree that a socially developed citizen contributes greater to the economic development of the society?
No doubt about it.
And that had our people been more developed, and note, I'm not speaking about education here, because I can take you into lands in countries where education is even below us.
Not education, academic, because education is really what we learn.
Thank you. And therefore, you don't think as a policy, that should be more something that we speak of a little bit more.
I believe we should.
And don't we, John? As a child goes into a government school at 6, and the child comes out at 18, that is enough time for the government, sir, to transform that individual into an interdependent member of the community, so that that individual knows that when he buys 2 pieces of KFC this afternoon, he doesn't eat it and drop the box on the street.
I agree with you, and hence that is why when I was speaking earlier, I mentioned about the role of civil society, the classroom, parent, the PTA associations, the youth groups, and all of those things. So in other words, instead of depending on one man who happens to be the Prime Minister of this country to get it done for us, there's a role for all of us to play. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, can I say something here? As somebody had mentioned that if you come to the United States, that people tend to follow the rules and the regulations that they are faced with in the United States or anywhere in Europe. And that is why, and I have seen that, and that is why it's not I beg to differ with the assumption or the opinion that it is the people's fault. It is the system. And let me tell you why I think it is the system. Is extremely severe. So if we want to start a country that has good attitude, a country that has good social etiquette, it comes from the infrastructure. It comes from the system that we have. When you don't have, there's very few places that you will go where you will see a taxi system that is as disorganized as the one that we have in Jamaica, right? When you go to anywhere else, you come to the United States here where you have Uber, which is kind of similar to the taxi system. They have specific, if you go to the airport, specific places that they have to park. They can only pick up customers from a specific place. They can only carry a certain number of customers, etc. There are laws, and then there are enforcement of those laws. So when we do not have the infrastructure for kids to be able to leave school and leave school in an orderly manner, because they're going to have to flood the streets to go get a taxi to go home or a bus to go home, it is very, very difficult to be able to rein in and have some level of discipline, because the system that they're moving towards just to be able to get home is so indisciplined that it promotes that sort of a mentality. So I'm I'm saying, as somebody who has lived both, that you will see people who come into this system, they didn't suddenly change, they didn't suddenly get educated, they didn't suddenly get socially aware, but they were into a system that had an infrastructure, had enforcement of those laws and regulations. Therefore, for them to survive, they had to be able to do so.
It is called natural conformity, sir. If you see people behave in a particular way, you're naturally going to want to behave like that.
Well, it's a little bit more than natural conformity, though, because it is also the enforcement, right? There are significant penalties. There are significant penalties for not adhering to these rules. So yes, there will be some element of natural conformity, because you say, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. But what makes everyone conform is the enforcement. You drive without your seatbelt here in the United States and you are caught, there is significant penalty for that. So it's the infrastructure and the enforcement. Now, that can't just be, a prime minister, and we're going to say it is the or the prime minister is who's supposed to do that. That has to be something that is done over a period of time. So there is a government that needs to understand, okay, this is where we want to go. And these are the things over time we are going to have to implement in order to get us there. It is not about educating the students. It's not about educating the people. It is about making sure that we have the infrastructure and the enforcement of those infrastructure laws that will eventually get us to a point where we can be regarded as socially, aware.
Inspire. Where do we start?
We start with looking at what are the primary elements that create this sort of a social awkwardness, right? It is a lack of infrastructure that causes that. There is not enough buses. There is not enough transportation, for instance, right? There is no school program that is able to keep the students in school or allow them to be able to say, you have to leave here to go here. We don't have. Once the school is over, everybody runs wild because there is really no infrastructure to be able to do that. So
you don't think this has to become part of the political debate, sir?
It has to be. And so let me just say one more thing, neighbor. Let me say one more thing before I finish here. If we want to get somewhere, let us say we start with the schools, right? And we say, listen, we want to create a school bus system. We want to create a school bus system that will take significant pressure off the general public transportation system, right? That will take significant pressure off the public transportation system and take the kids into a more safer environment, right? That is going to need tax dollars, and it needs a lot of planning and so on. So that's just one example of, if we are looking for 5-10 years down the road, these are some of the conversations that we need to start having. Because if we do not take care of our kids, if we don't train them from very early, if we don't create order and consequences from a very early age, these are the people who are going to grow up and become completely uncontrollable because they grew up into a system that itself was uncontrollable.
Quite so, sir. Moderator, where do I go now? Hello? Jamaican girl, help me.
I think I want to add to what Inspire said because, you know, and this is the kind of the direction that I wanted to head in, but I was kind of interrupted. Mind you, I was long, and I will confess, you know, because I remember about 2 years ago, the Prime Minister tried to implement a seatbelt law that has been on the books for more than 15 years. And the opposition was the first one to come out against it. And yet they were the ones who came up with the same law. But all he tried to do was to implement it, you know, and they come out against it, right? I remember recently, about a year ago again, he piloted a bill in Parliament. You know, if a youngster 14 years old and above is found with a firearm, how much years he should get. And the opposition leader was the first again to come out against it. And instead of seeing it as a mitigant, they wanted to get political mileage out of it, right? And this is one of the challenges that we have in this country. You know, both sides of government not working hand in hand, but rather one seeking to gain one-upmanship.
Especially on national issues like crime and education, eh?
Right. You know?
Yeah. And even the matter of social
Right. And as Inspire stated, in America, if you hear a siren, right, a siren, irrespective of whichever direction it's coming from, you have to pull over your vehicle. It doesn't matter. Irrespective of whichever direction, if it's coming from before or behind you, you have to pull over your vehicle. I have seen right in Spanish Town there, a building is on fire in the center of the town, and a taximan refused to give the fire truck pass and come out and want to fight the fireman out of his taxi because the fireman wanted to go towards the fire, right? Now in America, that man would face prison time, not just a fine. And this is the kind of society that we need to change. Right?
Yes, John.
You lock him up now. The opposition going to come out and say, boy, the police are being abusive. Right? And another point I want to add. You lock up a man tomorrow morning. Take, for instance, look at the other day, and I give you, it is reported that someone who is running for member of parliament was found with a stolen Mercedes Benz, right? And it was covered up, right? They tried to cover it up, right? When you have people like that, not adhering to the very laws, and those at the top who caught them and decide that because of who she may be connected to and who she is aspiring to be, then it should not be made public. Then how can you expect an orderly society when those who are at the helm not even obeying the very laws that they are piloting? Huh?
All right.
Those are some of the challenges that we face. So it's not a prime ministerial thing; it's a national issue.
Yes, John. But then the leadership of the country will have to pull together and to highlight it as a problem and you know, get us to start moving in that direction. But we have to go to Casey. He isn't ready. All right, go ahead. You hear John?
Hello. Can I add something else then while John is getting ready?
Yes.
So
Casey, are you ready, Casey?
Yes, good evening.
Okay.
Good evening, Inspire.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, neighbor.
Oh, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
You're doing fine.
Joshua.
Casey, what do you have for us today?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes.
How are you?
Yes, neighbor. You asked me the last time to check on Southwest St. Elizabeth.
How are you, sir? My response was delayed, but how are you?
Okay. I'm doing fine. Thanks, sir.
All right, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, neighbor. You had asked me to check on Southwest St. Elizabeth. That would be Fly Green seat.
Yes.
Yes. We didn't get to have a session since that. Yes,
right.
I I figure we will pick up from there. And we still have Northeast Manchester.
Go right ahead, sir. Listeners,
Yes.
forecaster KC own boss is now here, and we are going to do Northwest St. Elizabeth. Southwestern St. Elizabeth, and of course Northeastern Manchester. Tell us the reasons why you are going to these two, KC.
Yes. Southwest St. Elizabeth is known as the weather vane constituency, so hence it's the most important constituency for every party going into a general election, because no party in the history of politics have never won that and lose a general election.
Wow.
So if we're ever going by history, that's the most important seat, the single most important constituency. Because
okay, so based on reports coming out of the Gleaner, they envision that it's going to be a very closely watched seat. There are even suggestions that the Labour Party in that constituency is barely ahead.
Yes. There have been reports from the Gleaner. There have been forecasts. I hear other people forecasting it to be a battleground. I hear the opposition being very, very optimistic about it. And what I will say is that's a constituency that will always give you that feeling going into a general election. There's always something to fight for, because I would say each party have basically the same amount of base support. So the X factor is mainly the swing. Which party gets the swing? Which party does better? Or the candidate. And if you look back at 2011, when the JLP lost it by 13 votes, the PNP won 66% of the seat, 2/3, and still only win it by 13 votes. And so there was a big swing for the PNP, but another factor was the then Minister of Health, Christopher Tufton. Dr. Christopher Tufton was a very popular candidate and a loved candidate. So his popularity almost have the party losing the election holding on, because that's the only time the seat have lost by only 13 votes. So the candidate is also a factor. And I must say, Floyd Green is up against a very strong candidate, maybe the strongest candidate the PNP could have found for that seat, but Floyd Green is a stronger candidate. And unless the PNP get 2/3 of the seats again, get a big swing like that, I don't see them taking Southwest St. Elizabeth. And I look at it in multiple different ways, and even the numbers, I keep on looking at the numbers the last 3 times. Well, the last local government election and the last 2 elections before the 2020 election, which most say was an anomaly. And the last time the PNP won the seat, JLP would have won places like Pedro Plains and division like Pedro Plains and Mountainside in the constituency by 56 to 44 points and 54 to 46 percentage points. That would be 2011. When the JLP won the seat, the JLP win those division by 60 to 40 points.
Yes,
both Black River and Mountainside. Now, in the last local government election, the voter turnout in those divisions was considerably low, and that's what I thought, because the JLP machinery had a very late start. So they only win Pedro Plains by 53 to 46%, or 7%. Normally they would win that by 20%. So they only won. They did still win Mountainside by 20 percentage points. So I think that's where the difference was. It was mainly in the JLP stronghold. The vibe was not there. The thing with the workers and everything, it was not going the JLP ways, because they weren't on the ground early enough. The PNP was campaigning way before. And another thing I must tell you, the Brampton division, the PNP would have won that by some 9 points in the local government election last year. And that division is going to be somewhere closer to 50-50 come the general election.
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
unless the PNP take 2/3 of the seat, which is highly unlikely. So I would still have Southwest St. Elizabeth in the safe column for the JLP. I think Floyd Green is safe, and I'm forecasting Floyd Green to win by over 1,000 votes.
Are you going to move on now to Manchester?
Yes, Manchester Northeast. Yeah. I think Manchester Northeast have moved out of the safe column for the Jamaica Labour Party at the moment. Based on what I'm seeing, if a general election should be called in the next 2 to 3 months, I think it will be a very interesting seat. I think it will be a battleground from here. And depending on the candidate the JLP choose, I think it might flip.
Are you there, Casey?
Yes, I'm here, but I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you well.
Yeah, I'm hearing you quite well, man. I'm saying to you,
yes,
that you are going to cover all the Shaw's constituency. Just go through it for me.
Yes, I'm saying, based on the information I've been getting with additional information I'm still getting, I don't see Northeast Manchester in the safe column for the Jamaica Labour Party anymore.
Hold on, Casey. Hold on. This is the Labour Party's safest seat in Manchester.
Yes, traditionally.
When last have the Labour Party not won that seat? When last would it, at this stage of the election season, that that constituency would be not ticked off?
Well, neighbor, it might have been a constituency that the JLP have been winning for the last 32 years, but it was never a safe seat. It was never as safe as, I would say, a Southeast Clarendon or a Southwest St. Catherine, or as safe as Northwest Manchester normally is for the PNP.
Yeah, this is hard to digest, Casey. This is
so remember, the Jamaica Labour Party always have in the last 30 years have a champion politician on the ballot for Northeast Manchester, a high-profile politician. one that can get funding, one that people love, the constituency love him. He was there from he was young, the famous Manor Yard. So things have gotten tighter and tighter and tighter. And
so you are attributing the electoral.
If you can recall, that constituency went in 1 or 2 elections in the past 30 years as a battleground.
Casey, repeat what you're saying to me. You're saying that Odeshaw's seat at this time, you cannot call it for the.
I cannot call it. I cannot put it in the PNP column either, because that would not be accurate. I still think the Jamaica Labour Party have every chance of winning it and may still win it and is more likely, but it is no longer in the safe column where I can tick it off say whenever the election is called, this one is safe, because the organization in the constituency is still asleep based on the information I'm gathering. People that I could normally ask, what's going on? You're part of the JLP team. You're a very important person. Is saying to me, I don't know.
Are there any other factors at play, Casey, apart from the organization? Because if it is the organization, I suspect when they crank up the election machinery, then that could be overcome.
Yes. Well, I know they have lost some people, some of the key people who would normally organize the constituency or keep the organization active. I know 2 persons personally that they have lost, and I know people that are not in the country anymore who normally play a key part. It is known for a while now that the present MP is not seeking re-election, and the PNP candidates have been there campaigning for maybe the last 1.5 years. And the JLP was expected to name a candidate for some time now, and that nobody still know how far they are with that. And they have a candidate. They have 2 aspirants from what I understand, and both of them are well loved, one more so than the other. And I don't see what's the problem, because it's really clear that one person is the person the JLP delegates and workers are looking forward to lead them. So I don't know what's the problem there.
John? Sorry. Inspire, what you make of this?
Well, the question that I would have, though, is having looked at what this current government has done and how much they have brought down the unemployment rate, the increase in the GDP. There are just so many positives that has transpired over the last few years, right? That the question that I have is there a problem with the messaging? Do we not have good messaging? Because if the country has done so well over the last few years, and this is something I have confirmed from my research, why would we be having these issues? Why is it that we don't have a solid messaging? And that is
Inspire, I think you're barking up the wrong tree here. I think the problem the JLP have in places like Northeast Manchester have nothing to do with what the government have done or the messaging. I think it more has to do with the party and who is representing the people, who are the people seen, who are organizing for the party in the constituency. The die-hard JLP supporters in the constituency don't know what is happening. So the other supporters are just looking on while the PNP is fully active in the constituency and is getting stronger.
Right.
So it's more to have with the party and politics rather than the government and messaging.
So you're saying then that the constituents are going to ignore all that has transpired, all the good things
if you think that can win an election, you're sorely mistaken. If you think that what you're talking about can win an election, you're sorely mistaken. That's a factor. People might be kind to you in reciprocating what you have done for them, but you have to come to them as a party. You have to do an election now as a sporting event. It's every 5 years or every 4 years. It's the World Cup of politics in the country, and it's you need thousands of people to vote for you in a constituency for you to win. So maybe there will be a few thousand or a few hundred who say, yes, this government have done well, so we will go there. You have to go to the people early, convince them before other people convinces them.
But Casey, what you're saying comes right back to messaging. What you're saying is the people are not hearing from the JLP candidate. The people have not been seeing the JLP candidate. That's
yes,
what I may be wrong.
When you say messaging,
yes,
it's more like interacting. They don't know who are interacting with them. They have nobody interacting with them and saying, yes, we are Team JLP. That's how bad it is, that there's a lack of interaction.
Okay, so it goes back to the fact that messaging doesn't necessarily mean the content of a discussion. It means that
they are too laid back in the constituency. They haven't sent any message at all.
Okay. No, I completely understand you.
And let me tell you this.
Yes.
A lot of people outside of the constituency may not know. One of the aspirants have been interacting with people in his division mainly because he holds a division and he is galvanizing support. The other aspirant less so because he was never a candidate there, but he's the one who seemed to be lined up as the MP aspirant for a while now, and the constituency have taken to him very well. And I can tell you, if there is a runoff, he may beat the other aspirant in the other aspirant's own division for the votes of the delegates and the workers. So I don't see what's the problem in choosing the candidate.
But Casey, if you are aware of this, and your analysis was brilliant, right? If you are aware of this, are you saying to me that the party brass isn't aware of this? And my question would be, these guys seem to have done so well. Why aren't they doing something about that? Because you have clearly articulated that.
What I don't know, Inspector, Inspire, is everything.
Okay.
I know some things, but I don't know everything. Obviously, there are things I don't know. So I'm wondering, is there a third person? Is there a fourth person being looked at? What is going on? Are the aspirants none of them plan to take the second seat and support the others. The other, I don't know what is happening. And the people in the constituency are asking the same question. The delegates, the workers are asking the same question. And even people in the party, other people who's in the party who are close to the top brass are wondering what's really happening. When you talk to them and ask them questions, they're like clueless. Like say, it's time now. The truth is the truth. And you know, I tell people every day, I'm a JLP supporter, but they can win when the election comes. They can win by 1,000. They can win by 500, but 500, but by 1,000 the seat.
So Casey, in your analysis, sir, what, because you seem to have a pulse on what's happening, what would be your best guesstimate, sir, as to what is likely to happen in the next election?
Well, I expect the governing party to win. I've forecasted the government party to win, and I still see them winning. Yeah. I still have about 35 seats that I know they will win.
All right. Boy, Casey, it's almost breaking news here. Can you tell us again what you are saying about St. Elizabeth and then Manchester, and then I'll see what the listeners have to say about this. What you are basically saying is that the weather vane sea is turning out to be close, eh?
Well, it might be close, but I don't see the governing party losing it. I don't see the governing party losing it. I don't see Floyd Green losing Southwest St. Elizabeth. So if the PNP is going to win the general election, they will have to find another route. And then history will be made because Southwest St. Elizabeth is currently going to the JLP. So if the PNP is winning the general election, it will not be the classic weather vane anymore. But it will be close. There will be good support for the PNP and Miranda Wellington, but I don't see where there will be a lack of support or less support for Floyd Green and the Jamaica Labour Party. Minister Green will come through. Near 1,000. Mountainside, parts of Brampton Division, and Pedro Plains Division will be grateful.
Great. All right. Sorry. Sean? Sean Robinson. Jackson? Jackson?
Give me a few, I'll come back.
Okay. All right. I guess Casey, that is what you have for us today.
Yes.
Okay,
we will have more on Southwest St. Anne tomorrow. Southeast St. Anne, that is. We will have a lot more on Southeast St. Anne tomorrow.
Southeast.
People been asking about Southeast St. Anne. Yes.
Yes. All right. Blaze?
And also Northern Clarendon again. We will go through Northern Clarendon again.
Okay. Blaze? Who's gone? All right, Casey. Let's leave it there, no? Thank you. We talk later and arrange for tomorrow.
Okay, neighbor.
Great. All right, listen.
Respect.
That is your forecast for today. If you do not have any more comments, then we're going to just leave it all there. It's been a long day, and I think we want to take a little break now and sort through some other things. So until we are able to join you again